I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the end.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comment Riders. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek, joined, as always, by my good friend, Toby Tobes. What's up, Toby?
Hello, Joshua. How are you?
I am good. It's good to be back speaking with you in the land of the living. I was a little sick last time we were supposed to record, but I'm feeling better now.
That's good. And the highlight is I'm mere hours away from flying to a little island called Mexico. So we're doing a very late night recording.
We are. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to talk about your jet setting or not, but yeah, leaving the old country.
Running away. Only to come back in a week, but
is it supposed to like get snowy where you live right now, like as you're leaving, or are you guys dodging that?
it's supposed to hit in like the next hour or two. And
Okay.
basically like when we're waking up to drive to the airport is when it's actually supposed to be happening.
Okay, so
So
hopefully you can
that
get
will be a
out
weird
before
mix.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's supposed to like exactly start snowing like overnight here, and it's supposed to be really bad. So we're already like planning to have the kid home from daycare and stuff. So tomorrow's just going to be a nightmare. is really what that already means. But I'm very jealous of you heading off to warm climates.
Yeah, so like we went there once before last year, and the disconnect of leaving a warm, nice place and coming back to a freezing cold place is
Yeah.
very, very jarring.
It
Especially
is.
when it's like lush trees and like nature and things, and you come back to like all the leaves are dead and the trees are brown and how
It's
the rest of the song
depressing.
goes.
Yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
No. What song
That's
is
the
that
song
now?
I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we so I
I was saying
oftentimes
California Dreaming, by the way. Now you can continue.
Okay,
I
thank you,
just
thank
thought
you.
of the song.
Thanks for closing that loop. We like my family and I would often go to Florida like over like the spring break ish period over the years. And we haven't gone like since before the pandemic, but we are going again soon. So in like 2 weeks, just a little over 2 weeks now. Yeah, we're heading to Florida again. So I hopefully will be able to experience the like cold weather to warm weather again soon. But yeah, you're right. That it was always a weird thing where, you know, you get used to the warm weather and then you have to like retransition back to like the awful cold Indiana weather again when you come back. It's like, oh, this is the worst.
And the thing that me leaving again reminded me of. So we've podcasted many years,
Hmm.
and I worry that I retell stories, but I don't care. Did I ever tell you the story about when I almost got trapped in the basement in England at the airport?
I don't think so.
Okay. So years and years ago, as a young lad, when I first got into this internet talking game, the kid that I did a podcast with lived in London. So we became friends, bullshitted, and he's like, yeah, you should come visit me in London. And I was like, sure, why not? This seems like an easy thing to do. So I'm going to preface this story with all the time growing up, at least for our generation, Josh and I are a little bit older, there was always the stories of like, oh, one summer I just went backpacking through Europe and it was the greatest time ever. And I didn't know where I was going to go and I just went places.
Yeah.
So my whole vibe going into this was, this is the way it works. You just fly over. It would have been post 9/11.
You fly over, you get assigned your Hobbit, and then they
Yeah,
take you along.
you just go for a ride. But I was like, it was years past 9/11, so like the kind of restrictions went away and no big deal. So I make the plans, and this is the way the plans work, Josh. And this shows the lack of my foresight way up front. I talked to the kid on Skype only. When the conversation was, I'm landing at this date, at this time, in this terminal, I'll meet you there. I didn't know where he lived. I didn't have a contact number for him.
Jesus.
I only knew his name. And just in my head, the whole plan was, he's going to pick me up at the airport. I'm good to go.
But he never actually confirmed that that's what he was going to do.
He confirmed it too, but I had no extra information other than this. It was just my dad's going to drive me to get you, and then we'll pick you up at the airport.
Oh, so he didn't drive?
No.
Oh, this is like this. These are like young. These young adventures of Toby.
Oh, no, I was like this was like mid-20s. You just because England, London, I guess, like it's very walkable and trainable.
Okay,
Mass transit. So we just never got a license and didn't have a car.
gotcha. Okay,
So these are my plan is fly over, get dropped off, go catch a ride. So get on the plane. I'm like, I can do this. I never left the country by myself before. This is wild, but this is fine. So we're halfway across the Atlantic Ocean, sitting next to a nicer old British lady who's talking to me, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm going back home. My daughter's meeting me, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, cool, that's nice." And she's like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "I don't really know." I was like, "I know my friend lives in South-on-Sea. Other than that, he just picked me up in the airport." And she laughed, and she was like, "Oh," she's like, "I don't know how well it's going to work, but you should be okay." So I was like, I laughed, and I was like, "Okay, fine." So we're flying across, and they start coming by with the customs cards. We have to declare what the hell you're doing with your life.
yeah.
So they walk by the first time, and because you can go from New Jersey, like where the airport is, to get to England, England's like a stopgap for going to India afterwards. So all I heard was take one of these cards. I thought I heard take one of these cards if you're going to India. So I was like, no big deal. Don't need one.
Don't need one of these. Skipping it.
So I'm skipping it. I told her I was good, and the stewardess was like, okay, I guess. I just walked away. So I was like, okay, we're still in the clear. This is still a thing. And then
I love that in her, like, she knows better, but she was like, well, your funeral, kid.
So I start looking around, and everyone's filling these cards out. And I was like, I probably need one of these. So she walked back, and I was like, yeah, I need one after all. And she just goes, okay, and just hands me a card. So the custom cards, basically, if you never flew out of the country, says like, where are you going? Where are you staying? Why are you going? What is your length of time? Like business, personal, whatever. So I start to fill his card out. And the first thing is like, what country are you going to? London. I was like, okay, or England, whatever. So we're going through like what city
I wanted you to write London somehow.
So what city you staying in? Knew that. And it's like, what is the address of where you're going? So then I just start staring at the card, like we know you're going to fail a test in school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm trying to will an answer out of my head. And I'm like, I need to skip this one, I guess. So the next question.
Skip this one, I guess.
So the next
come back to it.
The next question is like, what is the phone number of the person you're staying with? And I just stare at it again. And I'm
I
like,
can give you a Skype handle.
it's like, motherfucker, this is not going to go well. So I looked over at the lady next to me, who was very helpful before. And I told her, I was like, I don't really have answers for any of these. I was like, all I know is my friend's picking me up, and I don't really know what to put here. So she gave me like the polite, like older lady smile, and she was like, no, just fill it out the best you can, and you'll be okay. Don't worry about it. So I would say out of like the 15 questions on it, I probably filled out like 3 or 4 tops with like very limited information. So we land in London because that part has nothing to do with the card yet. We get to the line in customs, start walking through. I'm hot shit. I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this. And I landed in Heathrow. And Heathrow's like landing part where you get into the terminal, I guess we'll call it. Theirs is underground still. So we get in there. I go to the older guy that was working the customs line. He was like 55, 60. Seemed like he was in a bad mood. So I hand him the card. And he's like, this is all you're going to fill out? And I was like, yes. And he's like, do you not know where you're going? And I said, no, I'm going to South-on-Sea. My friend's picking me up. Or maybe it's South by Sea. I forget. I'm like, my friend's picking me up, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, but you don't know where you're going. And I was like,
correct.
I was like, I agree with you, but like, I don't know what you want me to do here. Like, this is all I know, whatever. So like, he kind of argues back and forth with me a little bit about it, and goes, go sit down, try to figure out more information. I'm not letting you through.
How would you possibly be able to do that? That's incredible.
Right. So at that point, all I had was a crappy old cell phone, so no like Skype on the phone or anything, and my laptop. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can try to figure out something on my laptop, or get the cell phone working. Look at the cell phone, no reception because we're in a basement. So now I'm looking at my laptop, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to find here. Like, I can't email the kid because he's here. I can't Skype the kid because he's here.
Yeah,
I have no phone number, like, for whatever. So I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I'm seriously going to get locked down here. like at some point I'm gonna go, I don't know what to tell you guys, and they're
Yeah,
gonna go, then
this
you're
is
not
it.
going in the fucking country. So these people that were in line behind me heard the
Wait,
argument.
real quick, did it ever occur to you just to like make up an address, just to completely lie?
So the people that were in line behind me were like party and fun loving Australian sounding guys. And they tap me on the shoulder and they're like, dude, they don't care what you write down. Just have an answer if you go back up
Yeah,
there.
that's kind of where I would have went. I would have just been like, I just need to copy someone else's address or something, or just figure something out to write down. Yeah.
So then I was staring at the paper and I was like, I should just write something down. And then I think to myself, but I was just so stupid with that guy.
Yeah.
If I go back up to him and go, hey, here's the address now.
I'm confident now.
He's going to Google it. He's going to call the authorities and be like, he's probably fucking lying. Like, go lock him up. So I'm sitting there like stressed as shit. Like, I don't know what to do here. And like, lo and behold, the line next to the cranky guy opens up. And it was a younger girl that was working there. So she sees me looking miserable. And she's like, sir, come in line, please. And I'm like, okay. And she looks at the thing and she goes, can you really put no more information than this? And I said, no. And she goes, okay. And she just asked me like other vague questions that weren't on there. Like, where do you work? What is your actual address? Like all of my information.
Yeah.
And then like she takes all the stuff down and she goes, lucky for you, I'm having a better day than he was. She's like, I'll let you in. And then she stamped the thing and looked at me and goes, never do this again. And I was like, thank you so much. You're right. You're welcome. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, whatever. So eventually I got out, went up to my friend. He's like, your plane landed like 40 minutes ago. And I was like, dude, I know.
I almost got sent home.
Or locked in the basement. Like, I don't know what the actual move there is.
I think they deport you, right? Like they just like if something happened where they weren't letting you in the country, they just like put you on a plane, I think back from whence you came.
But see, you don't know either. Like all these things are going through my head.
I'm pretty sure, Toby, they don't just lock people in the basement indefinitely.
but like at least it was a country that also speaks the only language I know.
God, like, can you imagine?
But I could see like them being like, when's your flight back? And me being in 4 days. And they go, okay, you're staying here for 4 days.
Yeah, sit right here.
I don't know how it works. Like,
I can see that being the case. Yeah, just like wait it out.
So
we're not gonna let you in the country, but we're not also not gonna like waste a plane seat on you.
Yeah, just wait. You have a flight. But so whenever I travel now, I always reflect back to this story, and I always make sure I have all the information written down. There's no fucking around going through customs. I'm the model citizen now.
So I have never flown out of the country. We flew to Hawaii, but of course that's in the country. But like I've only really left the country once to go to Canada. So that's my only like customs experience. And like, you know, driving across the bridge to Canada is pretty chill. And like mostly they just like stop your car and like ask some questions about like
what do you got in there? Where are you going?
Yeah, like you got anything you need to tell us, and like where are you headed and stuff like that. And it was like, you know, are you going over? Just gonna spend a couple days, whatever. Wasn't a big deal, but I was so nervous having to answer like questions and like felt like I was getting grilled. Like I have the furthest from like illegal things in the car, and like as we're driving up to it, I'd be like, I'm asking Jesse, like, should I be worried that I have like my laptop? Are they going to be upset if I have a laptop? Like,
are they going to open it? What are they going to do? What is this?
Now I've got like there's some juice back there. Do I have to declare that? Because I'm supposed to declare fruit, right? Does it count as so? Yeah, I haven't had the higher stakes of like having flown into a country and then having to talk my way into it, but that's great.
Even if I flew from like the U.S. to Canada, like worst case, there's roads home. I feel like there's more ways home from like north or south of us, than there are from like I have to cross water.
Yeah, crossing water feels much more serious for some reason. I agree. Yeah. It also just feels like such a judgment call on their part too. It was like, okay, yeah, you're gonna hassle me, but just let me in. Come on, like, there's nothing.
You called me a stupid asshole. I know, we're on the same page, dude. Like, I'm not arguing that fact with you right now.
We get it. I'm aware of that. I'm flying over here to meet someone that I met on the internet that I do a podcast with. Of course, I'm an idiot. What do you want from me?
Yeah, this doesn't sound shady at all. But yeah,
um,
so like to wrap it around to the beginning of this, like I really don't know like if this was the way it always worked. Like I'm gonna say like pre 9/11 for America at least, so like pre 2001 for America. Like when people said in like the 60s or 70s or 80s, like I'm backpacking across Europe, I just jumped on a plane and decided to live free for a month. Like, did they have to know, or did you just fly over and be like, "Hey, I'm visiting the country for a month"?
yeah,
And
I would guess
that
it
all you had
was.
to do.
I would guess pre 9/11 it was a lot more lax because like our general air security was a lot more lax back then. Like didn't have to take shoes off, didn't have to empty any bags, just sort of like waltzed right on the plane. Completely different world, right? So I bet the same was also true for customs. I would think back then. But I don't know. Also, those people probably did a lot more lying too, like, or like we're saying they were coming over for like school or something, but then not. we're just backpacking across the country.
Yeah, like,
About-
whatever the old school lie was, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And if anything, that should have looked up. Probably would have been that.
or you should have just like asked for an address and a phone number.
Yeah,
those,
so like
those would have been good things too.
I mean, like truly reflecting back, like even common sense would tell almost anyone, like if you're going somewhere, especially if it's not in the country, you would think you would want to know where you're going.
Yeah,
And,
like
and
have
for whatever
all of the
reason,
information.
for whatever reason, I just let that go, and I was like, oh no,
I'm
going
you
to
are very
London.
carefree. Going to London. What more do you need to know?
Rock
So
and roll.
how was the trip? Was it fun?
It was fun past that.
Okay. Was the customs getting back into the States okay?
So the on the wraparound of this, I got sick while I was there, just like head cold sick.
Okay.
So flying back into the country, when we started to land, my ears didn't pop. So like having a head cold plus your ears like double stuffing from the plane, I really couldn't hear shit. So coming back through customs, the guy went in line, and the guy was like, I thought he said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm coming home." And he said, "No." I said, "Where'd you come from?" And I was like, "Oh, I can't hear you. I'm so sorry." And he's like, "It's fine." So I answered him for real. He asked me a second question, which again I somehow didn't hear because my ears were blocked up. And I had to correct myself again a second time. And he just kind of gave me a look like, just get the fuck out of here. Like
This kid is still so high from all his European weed.
But yeah, it was just funny that like both sides of that trip, me and customs did not get along. Like me not getting into a different country was one thing, but like my own not letting me back in was like a wild time of like, I'm seriously gonna fuck this up somehow.
That's amazing. When we went to Canada, so we were staying on the Canada side, but we went to dinner at one point in New York. So like we like drove across the border. That was a funny conversation of like talking to the like US customs people and telling them like, yes, I am a US citizen. I'm staying in Canada. I'm briefly visiting the States for like an hour for dinner, and then I'm going back to Canada.
I'm visiting home just real quick.
Yeah, just wanted to pop in, say hi, grab some dinner, and then come back.
And to me, logistically, it all seems easy, but I guess there's rules.
Rules, schmools.
And speaking of rules,
Speaking of rules,
that's a segue.
A segue to our rules. Welcome to the podcast rules, everyone. Rule number 1: you don't talk about the comment writers. Yeah. Actually, that's the opposite of the rule. You should talk about the comment writers and tell all of your friends and
have
everyone
them tell their friends. Yes,
if all of you bring 2 listeners and all of those listeners bring 2 listeners, eventually we have a pyramid scheme,
and that's all we need.
We don't really know how those work, but we'll look it up when we get there. And then I think I've heard they're good, Toby.
As long as you start at the top.
I think the scheme in the name is a bit of a misnomer. I've heard they're great. No, we have an email address, Toby. It is cast@kamenridersucks.com. And we got some emails if you would like to jump in and discuss them.
Hit me with the emails.
All right. Our first email comes in from new friend Thomas. First, we're hearing from Thomas. Thomas says, "Hi, I'm a new listener, and I'm loving your review on Geats. I'd like
That's
to
very
hear."
nice of him.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tom. Can I call you Tom? Hopefully, I can call you Tom. I realized when I said it out loud, it felt a little too informal that you're presenting yourself as Thomas, and then I just deigned to call you Tom. Maybe you don't go by Tom, but write in again. Let me know if I can call you Tom. Uh, Thomas says, "I'd like to hear more on other seasons, especially Heisei and 01. Also other tokusatsu such as Super Sentai and Ultraman. Thanks for reading." So asking for other seasons. So we must be doing something right, Toby, because Thomas would like to hear us do more of this.
That's always good to know, because whenever we do things, I always assume we're doing it all wrong, or
yeah, for sure,
or ask backwards or whatever. So us being on the right track so early into our career is fantastic.
Yeah, so early into our budding podcasting careers here. Are you when I say Heisei, are you familiar with what that is? Have we talked about that on the show?
I don't know.
It's okay if not. It's not a
sounds
joke.
Like no.
Okay. So in Japan's weird, which is just the headline of a podcast episode. So Japan divides time into like eras. So they have different eras that basically begin and end with their emperor changes. So like when a new emperor takes power, that's the beginning of a new era in Japan. And then when that emperor, is gone, that's when that era ends. So
I feel like I kind of knew that. Isn't that why there's like the only one I know, like the Ming Dynasty? Isn't that like time-ish?
Pretty sure that's not Japan. Isn't that China?
I don't know. Keep going.
Okay.
I'm gonna fact check myself while we go.
Great. So it's relevant because people divide Kamen Rider series up into the eras that they aired in Japan. So Showa is the era from like 1926 to 1989. So that's when Kamen Rider would have debuted. The first seasons were in the Showa era. Heisei is where, the bulk of sort of the modern Kamen Rider took place. So that's 1989 to 2019. And then 2019 on is called Reiwa, which is the current era that we're in. So we are watching Reiwa Kamen Rider, and a lot of people's favorite seasons, of course, took place in the Heisei era. So 01 was a Heisei Kamen Rider, the final one, even, actually. Yeah.
So it is Chinese, but you can continue.
Thank you. But I would love to not only continue doing like the current season, but like dive into old stuff too. I think would be like super fun. There's a lot of like catching up on Kamen Rider that I would like to do in seasons I haven't watched, and this is obviously a fun way to do it.
So in general, so the way that Josh and I have been recording, we've been trying desperately to get like caught up on Geats episodes so we can do other episodes like mixed in. Both of our lives have seemed to have been a little too crazy recently, but we have discussed doing other seasons, like overlapping this one, just to do like one new and one old at the same time.
Yeah. And we can give a little bit of like a teaser as well. Might as well. We've also discussed maybe starting like a Patreon too for like additional bonus recordings and stuff like that. So not taking anything away that like you're getting for free now, but like as a way to do additional things, having a Patreon to support those additional things. So if that's something that sounds exciting to you, or if you have ideas about what you might like to see in a Patreon or in things that we watch as part of a Patreon, like send in emails and let us know, because we've been actively discussing that stuff for a long time now.
And as maybe a teaser, we'll call it,
mm-hmm.
Whether we'll call it current timeline or like bonus timeline or whatever. I keep demanding to Josh that we watch whatever the Amazon Kamen Rider was. That's like horror and gore and scary.
The newest one, or so there's multiples. Yeah, we could really go.
Whatever one you said, like someone got ripped in half, and you said Jesse got upset, or I got ripped out or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
everyone sounded like a horror
Black
movie.
Suns. Yeah.
So I want to watch Black Sun for sure, or Suns, or where the hell it is, and then the one with the Fortnite guy. So that's Xaid.
Xaid, yeah. Xaid would be a good one for us to watch for sure.
So those two, I think, are gonna show up in some way, shape, or form at some point, almost guaranteed. Just because I'm gonna start making demands, like Josh made me do this in general. So we're gonna go from there.
I like it. Yeah. So yeah, we have some big plans, I think, for the future of the comment writers and the future of the Toby and Josh brand, if you will. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like it doesn't have to be Kamen Rider. Yeah, we would be excited to dive into anything dumb. Toby and I also, as as an example, the first half of all of our episodes have a long history of just talking about random nonsense too. We are more than happy to do that on the internet.
Yeah, I think at this point we pretty much have a lock on. We're doing 15 minutes of bullshit up front, just to do an intro.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. So yeah, glad to hear from you, Thomas. And yeah, we are kind of actively deciding on like what to do next and kind of how to fill in that gap. So, Toby will be gone for a little bit of time here, being out of the country in Mexico, and then I have a trip coming up as well. If all works out, we won't have any kind of gaps in episode releases, but I think probably when I'm back from that trip is when we can probably start like really looking at maybe like doubling up and doing another season or something in earnest once we get some of that traveling out of the way.
Completely agree.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're looking at, I guess, as far as that stuff goes. All right. Thanks, Thomas. We got another email here from Kieran. So hearing back from Kieran. Kieran writes in and tells us that he's taking a trip back in time with some podcast titles. So Kieran has some podcast ideas for us that are inspired by our past works, Toby.
Those are the best thing. So
Kieran says the Geats Pod, which is similar to Geek Pop, Geek Pod. So that's there. And then this is Kieran's really like the magnum opus, let's say.
So before you hit me with this one, I'm gonna warn Kieran now that we had to brutally take down the last person who tried to outpun me.
We certainly did. We've got a couple puns coming up here, Toby, both in this email and then in a separate thing. So yeah, we might have to take some people down, and I'm one of them, just to let you know.
Perfect.
All right, so
that's the easiest target.
Kieran's second idea here is over commonized.
All right.
which is truly terrible.
That one made me giggle though, so that one's good.
Also, how Kieran wrote it out, like I understand what he's going for, like overanalyzed, overcommonized, but he wrote it over common and then YSED, which took me a long time to parse out as like eyes, because I was like, you said over common, you said. Oh,
come on, yeah, come on over. You said,
come on over. So yeah, those are great, Kieran. Thank you.
Thank you, Kieran.
Kieran also asked us a question. Kieran says, you joked a bit about it last week, but if you were in the DGP, what would your wish be?
That one seems deep.
That is a pretty deep one. Yeah. Like I feel like as much as we kind of like make fun of Keiwa, like wishing for like world peace seems like a pretty good one, right?
Yeah, like I don't know, like I would like to think that if I had the chance of like getting one, like anything goes and happens right now, like whatever I'm going to say, I get kind of vibe. I would probably like to think I'm a good enough person to do like something happy like that. But like the degenerate in me says, like, if I can know who wins every sports game ever in the rest of my life,
you're just gonna have all the money.
I could really clean up.
How long do you think you could actually like sustain that? So like if you know the outcome of every sports
how
game,
much can I sustain not losing forever?
but people are gonna catch on, right? Like you've got a bookie or whatever. Like you can only do so many bets where you win every single time before they're like, no, we're not taking the bet again, right?
So yes, that is actually how it works. But I feel like you could probably get away with it for a long enough time, as long as you don't like go for the kill, I'll call it, and like try to win like millions of dollars off one bet.
Yeah, you have to do it small, and I think you'd have to lose some once in a while too. Just on like not enough to like cut into your profits, but I think you'd have to like win kind of big, lose a little small, win kind of big. You have to go back and forth maybe.
Yeah.
So you'd have to plan it, and you have to mix up like where you're placing your bets and stuff. But
On a happier topic, if I'm like, let's say, like if I'm winning multiple times, I can get crazy with these. But I think that would also go for like talk to the animals.
there you go. You'd be like the
like
boy
fun.
in Encanto. You'd be like
Dr.
the kid
Doolittle, man.
or Dr. Doolittle. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, that seems pretty valid. I think mine like would just be like end capitalism. I think I'd have to do something like that. Like I just make it all stop. Like
isn't that how the DGP runs though? Now that we know it's a TV show.
I mean, like yeah, it has sponsors and stuff, I guess.
Well, so would that break the DGP?
Maybe
and then ruin everything.
It's kind of like my like anarchy answer too, because I don't know what it would do, right? like I don't really know what that entails.
Josh is just gonna write down like the anarchy A.
Yeah, exactly. I just write an A and then circle it, and it's like, hey, read it how you will, DGP. But yeah, I mean, like, it might have to be something like that where I try to fix the world with like a very specific answer, like
a targeted attack.
A heart attack? Is that what you said?
A targeted.
Oh, target attack.
I
thought you were suggesting that I turn the DGP into like Death Note. like
yeah.
I write down like at 11:13 on November 12th the will die.
You gotta edit that out, man. You're gonna get on a list.
not for real. I'm talking about anime.
Okay.
That's what the Death Note is, right? Like they write down the names of people that should die, and then it happens. You could do the DGP like that. You just have to win the game every time.
It seems like an easy win. Just write down everyone else's name real quick.
Oh my god! Wait, no, you would have to win first for it to work.
You get one chance for the infinite loop.
I want someone's DGP to be like I never won the DGP. Just like they win and then it just erases their win for no reason. That's great. Maybe mine would be like banks can't give predatory loans or something. Like I would want to do some research to figure out like what's the one thing that I could like pluck out of existence that makes the world better. Like that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Payday loans for sure.
not payday loans, predatory loans.
No, that's what they're called. The ones when they give you like 250% interest.
Yeah. We don't want those anymore.
Yeah, those are called payday loans.
Okay. What if it was just like housing is affordable? There you go.
Universal healthcare.
There you go. That's a good one. Yeah, maybe that's what I would do. Those feel better than world peace.
It might lead to it. You could have a twofer.
That's true. All right, we're gonna jump over to some comments on one of our videos, Toby, because we have another couple podcast title suggestions. So Leisurely Minis commented on our episode 15 review and throws out a couple suggestions. So the first one is Geats Speaks, which isn't too bad. I like that one.
I don't get it.
You don't get it? It's not really a pun. It's just it's like, or I guess maybe it's like elite speak pun, but Geats Speaks.
Okay.
All right. At least that one doesn't have common in the name. Then this next one, I'm liking this one. Common all over you. Which that one I really liked and it inspired me, Toby.
that one's not really marketable. I don't know, or maybe
nope,
it's
not. It's not. And here's one that's even less marketable. The one that I came up with in a reply, which is, "Oh fuck, I'm common."
Oh my god. This is the horse I backed my card on. I hitched my card to.
I probably shouldn't have comment rights on YouTube.
Can you turn them off on your own videos, but just for yourself?
Maybe, yeah. Just take these away from me. I can't be allowed. But I was pretty proud of that one. Oh man. Yeah, so we got some good suggestions, I think, for podcast titles.
This is a hell of a ride so far.
I know. Speaking of which, Shade, we also got your email. We're gonna save that for next week, for next episode, because we've been rambling about nonsense for 40 minutes now. So we're gonna bump you to next week. But thank you very much, Shade, for the email. We will get to it next time. So, Toby, let's talk about Kamen Rider.
Let's talk about the reason we're here.
Yes,
and more importantly, before we talk about, well, do it, we do it. We're going to talk about Kamen Rider episode 17. But before we do that, I was shown that with the subrip for episode 17, it seems to be like a TikTok video. I don't know, my voice is going for that. Someone had like a TikTok video with it that is called Fox Dance. And
yes.
I was told to watch it, so I made Josh watch it. And Josh, please tell everyone what the Fox Dance is.
So the Fox Dance is Kamen Rider Geats in full Kamen Rider outfit.
Regalia
With Sumi, also in full costume, doing a TikTok dance to What Does the Fox Say?
The classic hit of like 2010.
Yep. Which one I didn't know like even made it to Japan. Like I didn't know What Does a Fox Say was like a Japanese thing as well. I certainly wasn't expecting to hear it in the year of our Lord 2023.
I think that singer was German.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So it was already at least like halfway between us and them.
It was international. We can just assume anything that doesn't originate in the United States probably has traveled elsewhere.
And the important thing is Sumi also had fox ears on. To fully,
right. Yep. Had the fox ears
to
on.
embrace the Fox Dance.
The dance was very cute. The suit actor wearing the Geats costume really gets into it. Like the hips really move, which was kind of mesmerizing.
that was Josh's main takeaway.
There's a lot of hip. Like just go watch this video. It was hips for days.
So
it was very cute.
So real quick, I think the Fox is a Norwegian song, or the singer was Norwegian.
Okay, that sounds more accurate than German. We're
gonna start there. Number 2, if you are on YouTube.com, if you look up like Geats Fox Dance or Fox Dance Geats, or mix those 3 words any way you want to, it's actually posted as a YouTube short, so it's definitely watchable by everybody.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
And I think you should all watch it now.
Yes, go pause our video
for 20 seconds.
Find that YouTube short. Yeah. And don't do the thing that you do when you watch shorts on YouTube where you like flip to the next one and then you end up spending 3 hours watching YouTube shorts and then you wake up and you're like, what's happening to my life? Just watch the 20 seconds and then come back to ours. Have some willpower for once, God damn it.
Yeah, you fuckers. All right,
speaking
pause.
Speaking of
pause,
shorts,
unpause.
Speaking of shorts, I'm working on making our first YouTube short right now, Toby.
Oh dear God.
I'm gonna start maybe doing like clips from our show as YouTube shorts.
That's very wise of you. Apparently, YouTube makes the shorts for you. Like if it's a shorter video, it just makes it into a short.
Oh, we're never making short videos though. So
yeah, I only know this because like one of my Discord friends mocks me all the time for my hashtag content from my channel, because the one day I posted a video of I had a few beverages and people paid me $5 to drink dirty pool water.
Oh,
and it gets recommended as a YouTube short to him all the time in his recommendations. And I find that hilarious. And he always tells me, he's like, whenever I go on here, I see a stupid recommendation for you for drinking this damn water.
That's amazing. One day we can dream to bug our friends with our recommendations of our minute-long stupid discussions about dentists.
Those are perfect shorts.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Is the one where we discuss going to the dentist. So
awesome. So Kamen Rider Geats, episode 17.
Episode 17. What? Give us a quick recap. What happened in episode 16? Where are we at in the show right now?
The game ended. The Grand Game Master was eliminated.
Yeah.
Buffo was eliminated. We found out that the DGP is actually a wacky TV show with corporate sponsors.
Yep.
And then we also found out that since this game was unofficially not won by anybody, we're going to have to start a brand new game, and that's what we're going to do today.
Indeed. This show picks up with our new season, and it's very much a reality show now. Like the intro is a little different in terms of like they do like a big like hype thing of like it's a new season of Kamen Rider, like blah blah blah.
And it's definitely weird because like we're so used to like either Kwa doing his vlogs or
Yeah.
Sumi doing hers to like do us like fill in the last week's recap kind of thing. And this one is just like a full blown like actual announcer voice, like game show voice of welcome to the DGP.
Yeah, then they can just do official ones now that are like actually made for television or made for show,
Yeah,
which is very
exactly.
weird. And it's so like they announce all the writers like show up and like wave at the cameras. It's like it's very much a production. Neon like buys into it instantly. It's just
I
like,
mean, this is her life. This is what she's used to.
yeah, it's true. That's true. She's a professional streamer. We also right away, Toby, get introduced to a couple new fighters and a couple new Kamen Riders joining the team. The first is Kamen Rider Naj Sparrow, who is Suzu Daiichi, and Daiichi is described as a genius quiz king with top rank IQ.
He is very smart, but I
Yeah,
don't like him being a sparrow, so I'm going to call him either Spiro or Pidgey, depending on the mood.
fair enough. He's also like he's the anime trope of the guy who like is very nerdy and pushes his glasses up constantly. Like I kept waiting for like the glasses push up and then like the reflection on the glasses making them like perfectly white. Like he does that all the time. It's like push the glasses up.
It's funny you say that because my second to last note in this entire episode is that he's a weird looking creeper of a dude. He'd be the guy in anime who looks at butts all the time and gets bloody noses.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. He reminds me, I'll look up the character name because I can't think of it, but there's a character in Bleach who looks exactly like this dude. I will find it and link him to you.
While you're vamping.
Why are there so many stupid characters in Bleach? Good lord.
Yeah. So along with the new intro here, they'll have like new like little splash screens that show like half their face, half their rider mask, and like it's definitely full blown TV. And Geats' little spiel, like the IQ thing, was he's the fan favorite undefeated legend. So we don't know how long he's been playing, but this confirms that he's never lost and everybody loves it.
Yeah, he's the hit. Yeah, it seems like. Yeah.
He's the star of the star of the stars.
The star of the stars of the stars. So Ishida is the character that I was thinking about from Bleach, and I found the exact image that I wanted to link to you. So let me copy the image. I've definitely used a computer before. And let me paste it in here to you. And just go ahead and tell me this is not the same person.
Yeah, so it's even if you don't know who Bleach is or what Bleach is, because I don't, it's just like the stereotypical like looks too smart scientist. His glasses don't really attach around his ears, but they're on his face.
Yeah,
disconnected frames vibe.
Totally. There was a lot of anime influence in this episode. I feel like or at least anime like references, and I think this was the first one where like this character is just like so hilarious over the top in terms of their like the alluding to how smart that they are. Our other new Kamen Rider is Kamen Rider Lopo, who is Ganahe Sae. Sae is basically an athlete. Like she runs really fast. I think is her whole vibe.
No, she has Amazonian skills. What is her actual calling card thing?
Yes, Amazonian skills. You're right. Which means I think she runs really fast and maybe strong too. I guess if you're an Amazon, you're also strong. Yeah.
Don't be an idiot.
She only really portrays the running really fast. But we find out that Sae and Daiichi were finalists in a previous DGP. So
and Lopo knows Geats because she's like, "Oh, you're here again, Lord Ace," like with the real sassy tone.
She says like, oh, or should I say Lord Ace? So I think like maybe she met him before he became the star of the stars or something.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah, is what that insinuation seems to be. But yeah, they show up and instantly don't trust Ace.
I thought it was funny. Like they all like they're meeting on their stupid floating platform we always mock, And as soon as Lopo was like, "Oh, hey Ace, I know you, you jerk," Neon makes a face like she's catching vibes. So
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a Lopo versus Neon off at some point. Dog versus cat, some would say, for
Oh,
the heart of
yeah.
Ace himself.
The two of them like do not really get along this episode. Like there are some claws that come out for sure in that fight already. So it probably will come to a head at some point. But forgotten amongst all of these entrants, unfortunately, Toby, is Kawa. They at one point, I think Sumi says like the five of you will be competing, and Neon's like, but wait a minute, there's only four, and Kawa is just like off in the background. No one's paying attention to him.
And it's funny because like they tie into, I guess we'll call it why later as the episode goes on, of like how the game works. But not only that, like when the camera that will, like it's the us viewing camera, I guess we'll have to pretend it's also like everybody else viewing camera.
Sometimes it seems like yeah.
Like when it cuts to him, Sumi just stands right in front of him and she does like the, "Yep, let's go."
And moving along. Yeah. Yeah, she just completely like blocks it with her body. I find it interesting that he's like, super unpopular for this game because we are coming off of like him doing some pretty darn heroic things. Like, yes, he started out as a nerd that it makes sense everyone would hate, but like he really came around and he really like saved the day a couple times. So it's weird that like people don't remember that, I guess.
Well, I guess like if you look at it from, pretend this is a sport for a second. If you look at it from a sports standpoint, it's like the world's best undefeated team versus two teams that almost beat them in like the Super Bowl. So like I think the hype would be for like Lopo, Pidgey, and Geats as like the main three. Like Neon is a streamer, so she has like the fame.
She's got
at
a
least.
Following built in, yeah.
Yeah. And then Kawa is just like weirdo Kawa. So there's really no shot here.
everyone's like, yeah, we're not gonna pay attention to him anymore. The game begins. We drop down into the world. Everyone gets a buckle, and pretty much it's just like they just get their assigned buckle. Kawa gets like ninja. Neon gets the beat buckle, and we're good to go. We are fighting, Toby. Here's our second, like, what I think is an anime reference. We were fighting like delinquent bully Giamato. like they're hanging around a school, or like they're bullies who would be in a schoolyard. They're wearing like Japanese school costumes, sort of. They have like afro wigs on for some reason.
I thought they all looked like bullies that would be like from Greece. Like
Yeah,
70s
it is that
movie vibe of like, ha ha ha, you can tell they're the bullies because they have slick back hair and knife combs and all the cool shit.
I'm trying to think of, I can't place like an actual anime that I've seen that has like these exact characters, but I've definitely seen this vibe of just like, yeah, I'm too cool to wear my school uniform correctly. So, it's like it's unbuttoned and you can
Has like
see
the sleeves
my
cut off and like, sleeves cut off, or like
yeah.
unbuttoned,
It's
the ties
it's all
loose.
modified. Exactly. So it's like that, and like, but it's great. I love how ridiculous the Giamato are in this episode, and they play it like fairly straight. Like no one stops to be like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
which is pretty great too.
So the first game, because obviously we always drop in a game before I comment on the other new people. So they say it's a school life game, but there's really nothing, at least up front, that says it's like school life. Like other than you're fighting at a school, there's no. Like I was trying to figure out if it was like hide and seek or like something weird like that. But it's literally just like you're fighting at a school.
We maybe downloaded different fan subs this time. I'm not sure if we got the same ones or not, but I wrote down they called it the Academy game. So like maybe that's just a difference in translation of school life versus academy.
Maybe.
But yeah, I think just like it's a school is basically the vibe they're going for.
And then with the new riders, I kind of get why, but I also don't. I don't know why they get the buckles that are like the fallen people. Like Pidgey gets monster and Lopo gets zombie.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't make new buckles for the new people. And they're just reusing like, this was like a perfect opportunity to make more toys. And I'm
Right.
actually
Yeah.
shocked that they didn't double up and like, oh, Lopo's best one is this or whatever.
I wonder if they just didn't want to introduce two new buckles at the same time. Like, because when they do introduce a new buckle, they like to like give it its due, right? Like it gets its own little segment. You get to see it like shine, and we do get another new buckle in this episode
That is
later
true.
on. But yeah, it is weird that it's like, oh, so you're just those as well. Okay, got it. And Monster feels especially out of place for our super genius IQ friend.
Well, that one looks weird and like Lopo's helmet is like a real pale, like happy blue on the weird, like zombie dark purple
Yeah, it
evil
looks odd.
costume. They both look super out of place.
Yeah. My vibe basically on both of their costumes was like that they wouldn't last super long. Like it didn't seem like they were they're unique designs. It's not like they're just like a complete repaint of something we've seen before, but like they didn't seem as interesting as like the main riders that we have, if that makes sense. Like
They have disposable helmets like Owlman.
a little bit, yeah, exactly. He looks like an owl for sure. But despite their looks, they are formidable fighters. We find during this first encounter, but they maybe like aren't so good at working together. So there are a couple instances of like bumping into one of the other Kamen Riders. At one point, I think Sparrow like buries Neon in
He
the
does some like
sand.
weird dust attack and like traps a bunch of Giamoto in like the sandbox at school.
Yeah,
And then she's stuck in it too. And she's like, "You're not supposed to hit me." And he says, "You're supposed to stay out of the way though," and just kind of like brushes it off and is like, "I don't know,
yeah, he doesn't
just
care.
move."
So yeah, something seems to be slightly amiss there. This round gets over with pretty quickly, and they head back into the lounge, and then we get the grand debut of our new game master. His name is Chiram, and what's he all about, Toby?
he wants just the greatest show ever. He wants some drama. He basically tells them they're going to play You're Now in Real World.
Yeah,
And it's five crazy teens stuck living in just the lobby of the DGP. And he's like, "Just figure out where to sleep. I don't care. But we're all going to stay in here because we want some drama."
yep. And they want the drama because there's now a disaster, a hidden spy amongst them.
It's just like the
Um,
mall. So it's like it's hitting like 3 different reality shows right now, plus Fortnite Battle Royale games.
Yeah, exactly. I love the leaning into it of the like, okay, you all know it's a show now, so we're gonna add the extra element of you all live together and there's a mole. So here we go.
And then I was
Um,
like, address it now. And tied to that, the way the scoring works in this one, it seems
Yep.
like might as well just drop it now. The scoring is whoever the audience likes the most just wins the DGP. Like, there's not like you get points for killing the boss or you get points for saving a friend. It's really just you're all going to act stupid for reality TV. And whoever the most famous actor of you guys are will be the champion.
yeah, that part had me like a little worried. like my note was like the vibes are off. Like I don't want it to completely get away from like the super heroics, which it seems to be the path that we could take of like just playing to the cameras instead. Because yeah, as you said, Geats clears the game, but he's not the big winner as far as the approval rankings go. So he ends up with like 20%. Neon has 9%, but Kamen Rider Sparrow, Naj Sparrow, has 40% of the approval rating, and Lopo has 30 because like Lopo ran through the building to try to find the principal's office, and Sparrow pointed out to Geats how to clear the secret mission. So like everyone loved that because he really used his brain.
It's super
Um,
high IQ.
yeah. So like I don't know, like that might get lame if they really lean into that super hard, but we'll see. And then our poor K-Wild gets 1% of the approval.
It really just seems like this whole new vibe is just to bully KWAL the whole time.
It
Considering
does,
he was
yeah.
cut out of the intro, basically. They said, like, literally nobody likes you towards the end. And my last takeaway, or 2 takeaways from the new Game Master. If you ever play the old SimCity games, he looks like the mayor from the SimCity games that gives you tutorials the whole time.
He really does, yeah.
Or to drop my wrestling drop of the week. He looks like Tony Khan a little bit, but I put Tony Khan on Party Fridays.
Yeah, he's got more rhythm than Tony Khan, I think. Because Tony Khan, when he tries to get as animated as Cheerum does, he ends up just like stomping and screaming. But Cheerum, he can take it to those heights without going too crazy, I think. But yeah, I think you got the mayor down for sure. I definitely agree with that one. Our writer friends, of course, instantly start suspecting each other because they're trying to figure out who the spy is. Kayla and Neon instantly think it's the new people because they, just had blunders in the field of battle with the new people, and they also suspect at some point that it is Ace because he's missing. It turns out he went to visit a sponsor, which is a little weird. So he basically goes to visit the sponsor I think we saw in the last episode, and the sponsor is like, I'm your big fan. My name's Gene. I hope you do really well. And then Gates is like, okay, thanks.
And he pulls him in close and gives him like the weird creepy thing of like, and you're gonna do good because I need to know more.
Yeah, he tells him like, I hope you find out like about your past and who you really are and stuff. Like, okay. So
but it's just not in a nice way. It's in a way
it's not.
It sets the vibe of like we're doing this for a reason.
It sets the vibe of like, I'm the Kamen Rider swim fan.
There you go.
Because he yanks him in real hard and tells him like, and good luck. Like, okay, that's a weird creepy vibe. So definitely spreading that distrust there. We also get some views of Buffa. So of course Buffa was eliminated and seemingly dead, but got shipped off to the greenhouse. And of course we saw that he was still alive. So now he fully wakes up. He's good to go. Turns out death doesn't stick too hard, I guess, on Buffa, and
he stinks like a zombie.
He does, yeah.
Or whatever the hell the guy said last week.
He's awake and he talks to the kind of gardener guy there in the greenhouse. The gardener says no one's ever come back to life before, and he kind of like is talking Buffa into like the Giamato lifestyle because he said, I heard you're dying to crush some Kamen Riders. So I think that we'll see if that works or not. And then I guess just to complete the kind of Buffa gardener scenes. So at the end of the episode, we go back to them again. We see that the gardener has kind of finished up a new Giamato. It's one of like the big like bishop guys. And the bishop transforms into the firefighter rider from the first episode. So like fully looks like a human, but has like green tendrils on his face. But other than that, looks like a regular human. So I guess that's like the final form of the Giamato. Is they just
full human, but not.
Yeah. So that's super creepy.
So tied to that too. My question from that, when he grows into a thing, before you notice it's like an actual human too, he says, "You got this, Rook," but it's not like Rook like rookie. It's Rook like the chess piece because we said they're all tied to chess pieces. So my question to you was, if you had to like rank chess piece power, where does Rook go to know how strong this Giamato is?
Rook's. I would say Rook is on par with Bishop, right? Like, I think those are pretty equal.
I would see, like, I guess those are even. Like, do you put King and Queen in the same category? Like, Queen I would put at the top because you go anywhere and do whatever you want to.
Yeah, I think Queen would be at the top.
But like, does it go like Queen, Rook, Bishop, Queen, Bishop, Rook? Like, I couldn't figure out. Like, I was trying to do just the chess math in my head of like, what power level are we at right now?
I think we're getting pretty far up there. I think, yeah. I don't know. It's probably higher than Bishop then, since we've seen the Bishops already. But yeah, I don't know. That's weird. It's like in playing cards, like trying to figure out like, is a straight better than a flush or a flush better than a straight? And I can never remember which it is.
Flush is better than a straight, silly.
Yeah, so the way I remember that is because I remember that it's the opposite of how I feel like it should be,
That works.
which is a great mnemonic. um, so we get back to the game after everyone suspects each other of being a spy, and first we get a little scene from the producer. Let's not skip that. So the producer who eliminated the old game master, as we saw in the last episode, is eating some ramen, just hanging out. His kind of assistant woman is asking why Geats's wish wasn't vetoed, and basically the producer is like, he'll slip up eventually, so let's let him have it for now. And he says, and plus we want to find out like why he thinks that the Matsume is his mom. He's like, is he lying? Who knows? he's like, if he's not, he has the potential to shake the very foundations of our world. So clearly there's a lot going on still with Geats' whole backstory. Then we get back into fighting the Giamato. So
wait, you skipped a whole crazy scene, my friend.
Oh, hit me with it. Which one?
Well, so we should really address they have a whole little moment of when they're really discussing like how the sleeping arrangements work and how this we're all gonna be roommates part works.
Right.
So Keiwa makes a phone call home to Sarah to let her know he's not coming home
because he's on sleepover.
he's like, oh, I'm at a sleepover, and she goes, oh, you have a girlfriend, that's great. And he goes, no, it's not that. And she goes, yeah, I didn't think so.
Well, he looks at Sumi to see if he can lie and say that it's a girl, and Sumi's like, no. But yeah,
but then oh god.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I think Sumi even realized like Sarah would never believe it.
So like that part was kind of cool, and then so it got a little slapsticky then too while they were in there because like everyone like they made like a boundary for the girls specifically, like this is like our turf. Geats had Pidgey had his own like camping tent. Geats has his own part blocked off, and Keiwa was like, I have no place to sleep. And then he sat down in the chair in the girls' zone, and Amazon Lopo flipped his chair and did like a crazy 360 on the chair and landed. And it was very slapsticky. I did not appreciate it.
No, it's very cartoon. Like the way he flies across the scene. First of all, terrible CG. And second of all, it's like, yeah, that's not how the physics of that would work. So yeah, I'm with you. Not into it. But I did love when he realized that everyone else had already like staked out spots, and he's like, where will I sleep? And he starts panicking, and then he goes, Ace, can you share with me?
And he's like, he's not here, and that's when it rolled into he's meeting his sponsor thing.
Yeah, he's meeting a sponsor.
Also part of one last part of that. So earlier today, I showed Josh they have a DGP Kamen Rider Geats like actual clothing line coming out.
Yep.
And this is the first I realized that they're all. I mean, obviously they're wearing the clothes that they're going to sell in the clothing line to make it a thing. But this is the first I think they actually wore like, I'll call it hyper specific things, where like all the girls had their own colored like long sleeve DGP logo shirt, aside from like Sumi's dress and like the dumb track jacket look and stuff. So they're definitely like they're expanding the wardrobes to have more wardrobes to sell.
Yeah, I think the guys had worn some of that stuff before, but yeah, like now that they're going to be sleeping there,
I guess it's more noticeable because I never like really paid attention to the fashion up until this part, and then
you're like, oh,
I recognize all these shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff's pretty cool. I wish some of it wasn't so expensive, and I wish that it came in big person American sizes in some cases too. But it is very neat. Yeah. Also in the scene before they get out and start fighting again, they basically have a moment where they're playing Go Fish or some form of a card game, and they realize that Sparrow basically he just says he has figured out everyone's wishes. Like he's just like discerned what they would have wished for based on like looking at them, and he nails it on what they all wish for. Except for Ace, he doesn't know what Ace wants to be. But Ace rolls back in and says, "Yeah, I want to be part of the DGP staff."
Fuck you! I'll stay one step ahead of you. You don't have to try to figure me out.
Yep.
Here you go, buddy. And it's funny too because like during that part when when he was deducing everything, like he said, uh, he pointed out like how Geats is kind of shady because of the TV stuff, and he's like, think about this. Geats knows it was TV, and every time he says, "Here comes the highlight," it's because he knows it's gonna be a highlight on television. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is actually a very cool tie of like, we're gonna punch down hard on this.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And like, because also it's a thing too, with like maybe not, but also like knowing Geats, of course it is. Of course he knew, and just one more way that he could be, 10 steps ahead of everyone else.
And then
I'll,
while we were cracking down everyone's wishes,
yep, I was
Lopo.
gonna run down people's
Okay.
wishes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Lopo
So,
wants infinite strength, basically. Like she's
well, not even like infinite in the sense of time. Like she wants the current strength she has now to not decline as she gets older.
yeah, I mean, that would be more accurate. But I mean, that to me, that's infinite strength. If it never goes away, I guess that's more infinite. But
yeah, I was reading that in my head more as like, and then I'm like 10 times stronger than I am now, and it just keeps getting stronger.
no, that's fair. And then Pidgey wants to be all seeing,
which I thought was like a pretty smart wish. So he wants like basically all of humanity's memories, which is a smart way to word that, I guess. To sort of know everything, have the full breadth of like, human experience in your head. But also seems like it'd be a thing that would like drive a person crazy, like literally drive you insane.
like the voices never stop.
Yeah, exactly. You just turned into like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, I was trying, like when I was writing down my notes, I was trying to think of a good comparison of like not a super villain, but like the superhero team captain mastermind of like, I know everything, so I'm just gonna tell you guys what to do. And somehow I forgot Dr. Manhattan, but he would be like the perfect one of like, I see all timelines forever. I know what's happening before it happens, and this is just gonna happen because I said so, and
Yeah.
that shit.
And I think that Sparrow is like, he's also like just detached enough too that he would fit that role pretty well. Just like, I know everything, but I will not act. All right, now we get back out into the fighting. They've located the school where our delinquent Giamato are at. They have to defeat the principal. So Kamen Rider Lopo decides that, well, the principal's office is where the principal would be. So she sprints through the school, tries to find out where the principal's office is. And turns out there's not one. So she comes up empty. They're fighting some more Giamato, and our new friend Kamen Rider Sparrow he's like thinking, he's like, where would the principal's office be? And then he happens to notice a Giamato that isn't fighting them, but is off in a classroom, sitting at a desk studying.
Literally, like head down, not flinching, not looking over, completely ignoring everything. One chair, one desk, just chilling by himself working.
Incredible. So Sparrow points him out to Geats. Geats, I think Kawa is like, oh, he doesn't look like he's gonna hurt anybody. And Geats is like, he's still a Giamato, and like does a big boost jump over there to punch him. As soon as Geats takes out the studying Giamato, boom, secret mission cleared. So the secret mission was to defeat the studying Giamato.
Wait, so I know we have different subs, but let me try to find what mine was real quick. Because
Yeah, I didn't actually write down the exact wording on mine.
I think it was, what was it? It was defeat a non-delinquent Giamoto.
Yeah, I think that's maybe what it said on mine as well. Yeah.
Okay, but I was like, that's a sad touch. Like the poor little guy just wanted to do schoolwork.
Yeah,
He just gets punched in his face and eliminated.
I think we even get Neon who says like, "Aw, like poor guy." That he's just like so sad. With the secret mission clearing, we get a new buckle. I think it's like the Gigant buckle is probably what it's called, because it says like Gigant Blaster and stuff like that as they use it. Basically, it's a like construction style buckle. So it's all like yellow, like cat construction equipment is what it adds to the costume.
Yeah, like it took at first I didn't realize the drill was a drill or like a cement mixer maybe.
Yeah.
So I just thought, I was like, oh, it looks like Iron Man's finisher Marvel vs. Capcom. I can't think of the name right now. His giant cannon thing that comes out.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a giant cannon, and then his crafty little construction kit suit ties to them being a little brainy, a little wise, and going, wait, there's no principal's office. And they put the pieces together, Josh.
They do.
They construct the pieces one piece at a time and go, there's no office. But if we build an office, then there's a principal's office. And luckily they have a suit that sprays concrete out and does everything else to actually build a principal's office for the game.
Yeah, this is so dumb, but so great. They build the wall, and then like it even has like a little sign and has all the furniture and stuff. And they hide, and finally a Giamato walks by, sees the principal's office sign, and then like goes in like, "Do I'm the principal? Okay, here we go." And then there's this perfect shot where they like peek over the wall and they're all like looking down and seeing the Giamato sit down and become the principal. It's incredible. So stupid, but so good. At this point, like Lopo like sprints in, hits the principal, drags him out the window. They all fly to the outside and fighting ensues. I thought one interesting thing about the Gigant buckle is that you can put like smaller buckles inside of it. So he has like a hammer version and a sword version that you like put in, and then you get like a big construction hammer and like a massive, huge construction sword. It was kind of cool. I liked that like touch there.
Once I realized what it was better than I originally thought, because I couldn't. Once there was a vibe to it, then I was happy.
Yeah. It's also like not as like overwrought as the Command Twin buckle, where it's like, okay, you have to put it on, you gotta charge it up, you gotta do all this thing. It's just like, no, it's sort of there, and you can spray some concrete, or you can hit it with a big sword. It's all good. Like it's not like an episode, changing thing, which is nice. So then, of course, Geats clears the mission, and we get the approval ratings that we talked about before, with Keiwa being at the very end, pulling up the rear. So that kind of brings us to the end of our news there, as far as the episode goes. How are you feeling about the reality TV era of Kamen Rider Geats?
It's hilarious. They can definitely set up like fun drama vibes out of this, especially if like the other. Oh, I guess I forget if you said before. So the whole thing with the mole in the team as well is that the mole wins by default if they last until the final round ends of the DGP. I forget if we said that before.
No, we didn't. We skipped over that. Yeah, so that's a good point.
So like that I think that's cool that like that makes an easy tie where when the game gets towards the end more, and since they're all forced to sleep in the same room together, they can have great interpersonal dramas and shit can go sour.
Yep, for sure.
And also, real quick, so at the end of the episode too, after Geats wins the mission, he did it with the boost buckle, and the boost buckle literally homes in on Keiwa and smacks him in the face.
Yep.
So it's definitely just bullying at this point. I wanted to make sure we didn't forget about that.
Yeah, I'm glad that that's still happening. Just like, nope, always gonna hit him. It's just too bad for him.
But yeah, so now you can do your summary of the setup here.
Yeah, they've added enough wrinkles to it that I'm really interested still. I think that if it was just them knowing that it's a TV show, but nothing else changed, it would have like cut the legs off of the whole feeling of the show.
The
right?
reveal,
Like
the main reveal of the first like 15, 16 episodes.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they like now have to live together and now have to figure out who the mole is, and now we have all these like, who are these sponsors, and we're adding in the extra mystery too of like, so who watches the show? Because like, it's like it's not on the internet, it's not on TV. Like, who are we really entertaining? Are they dangerous? Are they not? Like, what's going on here? There was a quick little scene where Keiwa is kind of like questioning Sumi about that. Like, where is the DGP broadcast? And before she can really answer is when he gets thrown across the room. So there's still a lot of questions, I think, about the show, and I think that they've added enough hooks to keep me still invested. But I was a little worried going in. I'm like, okay, well, we know it's a reality TV show like this early. Like, what do we do? What do we do now? But I guess I shouldn't have doubted them. They always have something new to like keep me going into the next episode.
Yeah, like we said, it's probably like my closing speech of every episode. The writers are good enough that they always, no matter what twist they throw in there, it always works. Like, it seems stupid at first.
Yeah.
But they're good enough where like it will seem legit by the end of this, and then you'll feel stupid for doubting them again.
Yeah.
And that's the same vibe we have started again.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think after like 17 episodes at this point, I'd be like, you know what? Benefit of the doubt. Let's do it. Let's see where this goes.
I trust you guys.
Exactly. I'm excited now to see where the Giamato stuff goes too. Like if we like how far we take and now your dead friends are walking back in front of you.
Hey guys, look, it's Buffa, but he's a Giamoto now. He definitely wants to kill you guys.
He's got green stuff on his face. It's fine. So that'll be interesting as well.
And before we close this, I'm going to say right now, I'm shipping Lopo and Keiwa as a new power couple. There's no immediate signs of this flourishing love, but I feel like it's there.
I mean, she did throw him across the room today, so it could happen,
It could.
That's how you show your affection.
Yeah.
Toss your love interest across the room while sitting on a sofa. I want none of that to happen. I want these new people to like go away. So far, I'm not feeling Lopo's vibes really. I like Sparrow, but like in the sense of I hate him. He's a really good like annoying person on the show. But Lopo, thus far, I don't want her to be a love interest for anyone. Maybe she'll grow on me. We'll see. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us for this episode. Thanks very much for listening and joining in on all of our ridiculous nonsense. We'll be back for another episode next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if all things line up there. If you want to check out all of our past episodes, you could do that. We are on your favorite podcast app. Just search for The Kamen Riders. You can also watch the video versions on YouTube. You can go to KamenRiderSucks.com to go to the YouTube playlist for that. Of course, don't forget you can send us an email, cast@KamenRiderSucks.com. We love hearing from all of you. So keep reviewing the podcast, keep commenting on the videos, and keep being awesome. Toby, where can the people find you when you aren't doing this right here, right now with me?
On Twitter, you can find me at Life of Tobes, and on YouTube, it's youtube.com/TobesPlays or TobesPlays.com. They both go to the same place. It's where I play the newest and hottest Yakuza games 24/7, pretty much, it feels like. And to Josh's point about an episode next week, that is only if I can make it into and out of another country again, which, to wrap this all the way back around to the beginning, is sometimes questionable.
Yeah, well, this might be the last we ever hear of Toby, and now he's just going to be stranded in a Mexican basement from here on out. You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr, even though I feel like I haven't had a spare moment to look at Tumblr for like a week now, but I am at Pretty Decent Josh on both of those platforms. And that's going to do it for us. Again, thank you very much for joining us. We love having you along for this journey. Toby, have wonderful, safe travels on your way to Mexico. And we'll see you all back here next time. Peace.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof off. I'm too honest when I take